Because grace goes in the inside the Torah and bring out the spiritual application of it, and it makes you even more aware of what you shouldn't do. Not only Jesus did it this way. He said, not only do you not commit adultery, you don't even lust after somebody. So if committing adultery wasn't far enough, I can't even lust. I can't even look at somebody and say, boy, listen here, I wish I could. You can't even do that. I mean, that goes beyond not, because committing adultery in our mind is the act of performance. It is the act of performing, not the act of thinking. But lust is the act of thinking. So if we who say we are under grace, we have even bind ourselves stronger to something that we must follow. Because if you couldn't break the law, you definitely can't break grace. If you can't even break the law that you have to perform, how you can get out what you how you can break you can't even think bad.
That's right.
You can't even think wrong. And if you got a problem with the law of God, geez, you just have a problem with the grace of God. Because if the law would seem to be too strong, then grace is that much stronger. Grace is 1,000 times stronger. So man, you gotta watch your P's and Q's. You gotta every moment of the day, you gotta be saying sorry, Lord. Every second. Who can live that way? You think God gonna hold us to that? You can't even you can't think about nothing. Someone who you don't like died. Why couldn't wait for them to die? Oh Lord Jesus, please forgive. You can't take nothing wrong because everything you do will condemn you.
Yeah. That's right.
So anyway, happy are those that follow the things of God. Happy God will pour into you. Now, last week we spoke about, again, the sower. And we spoke about the different where the seeds fell. Remember, the seed is the word of God. The seed is not the church. The seed is not what church you go to, and the ground is not what church you go to. The seed is the word of God, always the word of God. The seed is the Torah. The seed is the law. The seed is Yeshua. The seed is the word of God. And the ground is you. You receiving the word of God. Now, is you. That's not proper English. Are you? The wayside, is your ground so hard that the minute it drop, it have nowhere to go, the birds come right down and pick it up and fly away, that meaning that Satan come right there and just snatch up what you receive? Or are you stony ground, where the seed of God come into your life and fall between the seeds, fall between the cracks of the seed and start to grow, but because the earth is so thin, because the soil of your life, your understanding of the word, your desire for the word, your hunger for the word is so thin that the seed start to grow, but they don't grow far, they don't grow too much because the soil is so thin that there's no ground for them to take root in and they die? Or is your seed just the seed of God in your life fall on stony among thorns? And there's soil in the thorns because the thorn is growing. The weeds around you is growing. The thorn is growing. And you are growing among the thorns. But the thorns twining around you. We do gardening here, and when we have fruit trees and herbal trees, and every once in a while I gotta go there and we have some strong thorns that wrap around them. And if you or vines that come up on them and they will suffocate. We grow the cerasee plant. And the cerasee is a nice medicinal plant. But the vines will just wrap around the tree and it will overgrow the tree and it will smother the tree after a few weeks, after a few months if you're not careful. And you want the cerasee, but you want the plant.
Yeah.
And if you pull the sower seed off the plant, you might kill the sower seed, but if you don't do it, you'll kill the plant. The sower seed will kill the plant. So thorns are like that. They will come up and they will smother the plant, the seed that is growing that God has planted. Well, today I want to touch briefly a similar thing found in the thorn and the seed that is sown. I want us to look today at Matthew, the 13th chapter, and from verse 24 to verse 30. And this story of wisdom, the story of wisdom that is, he's reading or relating a kingdom story, or kingdom wisdom or kingdom principle. I was trying to say two words in one, wisdom, kingdom wisdom or kingdom principle in this parable. And he says, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seeds in the field. The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sows good seed in the field. Remember, the seed is the word of God. But while man slept, he sowed good seed in the field. And while man slept, while the caretakers of the field slept, his enemy, whose enemy? Now, it didn't say their enemy. It says his enemy. Yeah. Whose enemy? Not the man that is sleeping. No. The man that sowed the seed. Right. His enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. Now we find that we're learning that the seed is wheat seed. And I think the only reason why wheat seed is described is because of the time period that this is written in. And when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Did you not sow good seed in the field? From whence comes the tares? He said unto them, An enemy hath done this. And the servant said unto him, now, he said the men were sleeping. And they asked him, meaning the man was supposed to keep watch. He wasn't around, the man was supposed to keep, and they asked him, didn't you sow good seed in the field? Yeah. And he knew right away, without even going to see the field, an enemy hath done this. And the servant said unto him, well, will you go now?
Now then does we go and gather them up? But he said, nay.
No, I didn't miss nothing. Okay, no, I didn't miss anything. Yeah, and he said, nay, lest when you gather up the tares, you pull up the wheat also. Let both grow together until harvest. And in the time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles and burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. Now this is a prophetic parable, prophetic of the last day. This parable is not just speaking about wheat and tares. It shows us how what is going to happen in the last day. Mm-hmm. but it teaches us a very important lesson. He said that the sower sowed the seed. And after he sowed the seed, in good seed in the field, the seed sprung up. But tares grew up also. This reminds you of the seed that was sown among thorns. Now, these are not thorns. These are tares. Now, tares and thorns, as far as the farmer is concerned, the difference between them is that the thorns are not just harmful for the plant, but they're harmful for the person who's going to reap. The thorns are clearly, you can see the thorns are evil. I mean, everyone knows you don't get banana from thorns. You know you don't get fruit from thorns. You don't get anything from those thorny vines or from those thorn bushes. When you go outside, you got to keep shoes on because if you walk on those prickles, they go into your feet, or if you grab them too hard, they go into your fingers. You don't get fruit from them. All they are is a nuisance. That's all they are. And you got to be careful when you pull them up, because they'll get all the way close, and when you go to sit down, you get stuck. You know that